G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to DCS World with Mags, and welcome back aboard the A-18C Hornet and the Hornet mini campaign. Now, this is mission 3, and thank you too. So this is the third mission of the Hornet campaign, and this was the easiest one to do so far. Now, in the last mission we bombed a convoy of Russian BMPs heading for the front lines. Unfortunately, this was not enough to slow Russia's advance into Georgia. Russian forces... Hang on a moment. There we go. Russian forces have managed to continue to progress into Georgia, taking more territory, moving past the Inguri River and advancing into South Senaki. Forces on the ground have identified a command and control unit southwest of Zigdidi, which is at waypoint 3, and this is going to be our target. Now, the command and control unit is going to be in a small cluster of vehicles on the side of a road somewhere between waypoint 3 and waypoint 4. The exact location isn't marked. So once again, what we have is a ground strike mission. This time we are actually carrying the Mk./84s, which I misidentified last time. And once again, we're one of 3 flights of aircraft that are up to perform this mission. The first flight is the F-14s. They are providing the cap for this mission, so Combat Air Patrol. They are looking for enemy fighters. The second flight is a flight of F-18 Hornets that are on a Seed Dead mission. That's suppression or destruction of enemy air defences. They're currently moving in on the ground targets, even as we are under approach, opening up a window for us to enter the area. Now, as per the last mission, just because Seed has done its job does not mean there will be no air defences in the area. It just means they will not be active, and we will have a window to get in and attack the target at minimum risk. That window, however, could close at any time, so we need to be on the countermeasures and ready to bug out if the SAM defences all come back online while we're still in the area. And again, as per last mission, our flight is 2 aircraft, 2 FA-18Cs, both of which are armed with Mk./84 bombs, as well as Sparrows and Sidewinders should we need them. And we've got a bit of ice on the intakes at this point, so I'm just flicking on the heating elements. I tend to flick the switches a little bit when I'm doing this. I like having a bit of feedback, and unfortunately the clickable cockpit of any DCS aircraft doesn't give you one, so you're sort of going to double check and make sure the switches are in the right positions. I need to get myself some button boxes, I think, for stuff like that. But anyways, at this point in the flight, we're a little over halfway to waypoint 2, and I'm spending most of my time here just keeping an eye on the RWR and keeping an eye on the skies, making sure no MiG-29s are popping up for the defense of the area. That's obviously my biggest worry. And also listening for the beeps that are the telltale of an active ground-based radar, which there doesn't actually appear to be any at the moment. SEED appears to have done its job. So it's just about time to turn in. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, we do not have assets on the ground this time. In the previous mission, we did have assets on the ground to pop smoke at the target's location. We will not have that advantage this time. However, we do know what road the target is on, we do know what waypoint it's between, 3 and 4, and we do have a photograph of what the target actually looks like, so spotting it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So my plan is to turn in at waypoint 2, head to waypoint 3, and then make a pass, maintaining about 13,000 feet over the target area. At that altitude, we should be safe from most of the air defences that are active in the area, outside of the SAM defences, which hopefully should be suppressed. Although the mud spike call then did make me a little bit nervous right as I'm beginning the turn in. But I'm kind of committed, so we're going to have to do this anyway. Once we've made visual contact with the target, turn the plane over, dive in, drop the bombs, pull myself back to altitude, and get the hell out of here. We have no reason for multiple passes, we have no reason to hang around outside of the destruction of this target, so we hit it, then RTB. Now, it was that call out that I stopped worrying about the mud spikes for the moment. That call out was at 10 o'clock, well, that's off my left wing. That one's at 9 o'clock, again, off my left wing. The only thing out in the ocean with surface-to-air missile defences is my fleet, so I'm likely getting pings off the destroyers at this point. What I'm worried about is about 11 till 3 o'clock. Any call-outs in that area are all going to be hostile, and at the moment we haven't had any, so we are still good on the approach. Now I'm positioning myself to be slightly to the left of the flight route between the waypoints. I want to be able to roll the aircraft and spot the target out my right hand side because, well, my right hand side is my better side visually, so it makes it easier to see what's going on. Now I was hoping to be able to pick the target up on approach and dive directly on it, but unfortunately we have cloud directly over the mission area, and it's blocking visual to the target area from this direction of approach. However, the cloud doesn't extend far beyond the flight route on the other side, so providing we get past waypoint 2 and then swing it around, we should be able to look straight down behind the cloud and see the road that we're looking for. And that's not a sound that I wanted to hear. One of the ground-based radars just went active, and I know it's one of the ground-based radars because it's close enough to potentially get a lock. And there it goes again. Now I'm almost directly over the target road from here. I did see the area that it looks like the targets are based in, but I couldn't see the targets directly, so I'm going to have to drop some altitude for that, but issuing an order to my wingman to begin his approach. He's to make his run on the target and then rejoin formation. Trying to get a look at the target zone out of the left rear before rolling it back to the right, as it's the easiest way to see, and there is the road. And about midway along it there's a cluster of trees and buildings. Again, I can't quite see the vehicles from here, but I reckon that's the spot that we actually have to hit. And the air defences are starting to come back online, and once again we're being painted. Alright, they've got SAMs away. Dropping altitude, popping countermeasures. Time to hit this target and get the hell out of here. So I'm going to bring it around in a long right bank. I'm checking the rear at the moment to see if I can see a smoke plume, but there it is there. The SAMs weren't aimed at me. You can see the countermeasure trail coming from my wingman and the missile going through. Looks like the countermeasures were successful. We haven't had any signs of an explosion and no call out for an ejection. And in the bank here, I did finally spot the targets. So I'm going to bring the nose directly around, we're going to make our pass and then haul ass out of the area. Alright, 2's making his pass as well. Technically, I should abort at this point, just in case he flies into the explosion, but I didn't. Bombs 1 and 2 are clear. And impact on target. 2's just dropped his, we can see it there and we'll see the explosion. And there's 2's explosion. And I'm checking my 6 at this point, looking for smoke trails to see if I can see where the surface-to-air missiles have been launched from and who they're heading for. But nothing seems to be coming this way. So at this point we are clear to exit the area. And then that happened. USS Stennis, this is Chevy 11 requesting you unbox me another wingman. I broke another one. So the flight back home was lonely and uneventful. The only aircraft that were lost by coalition forces was a Chevy 2. Though I'm going to blame Uzi Flight for that one. SEED was their job and they clearly didn't do a good enough job of it. The landing approach this time was okay. I did come in a little bit too high and forced the landing a little bit, which led to a slightly harder landing than I would have liked. But again, it was a landing within tolerances, just harder than would have been my preference. Anyways, ladies and gents, hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to check the video description down below for links to my social media, including Facebook and Twitter. Links to my Discord if you'd like to come talk to me in between videos, and links to my Patreon if you'd like to help support the channel. Anyways guys, remember to click that like button, share and subscribe if you would like to see more, and until next time, fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.